Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're stepping aboard one of the most famous and reportedly haunted locations in the world. No, it's not a castle or an old asylum. It's a ship, but not just any ship. The majestic, the historic, the legendary or MS Queen Mary, now permanently docked in Long Beach, California. This retired ocean liner has a history that's as grand as its size. But beneath the polished wood and Art Deco glamour lies a darker side, filled with tales of tragedy, mystery, and spirits that are said to still roam its decks. So, grab your life jackets, not that they'll help you with ghosts, as we explore the haunted history of the Queen Mary. Launched in 1934, the Queen Mary was the pinnacle of luxury travel. For years, she carried the rich and famous across the Atlantic in unparalleled style. Winston Churchill even signed the D-Day Declaration aboard her. But when World War II broke out, her glamorous life took a dramatic turn. Stripped of her fancy fittings and painted a drab camouflage gray, she was nicknamed the Gray Ghost and transformed into a troop ship. She could carry up to 16,000 soldiers at a time, zigzagging across the ocean to evade enemy submarines. It was during this time that some of the ship's most tragic events occurred, laying the groundwork for its haunted reputation. One of the most infamous incidents happened in October 1942. While escorting the Queen Mary, the British cruiser HMS Curaçao accidentally crossed her path. Due to her immense size and speed, the Queen Mary couldn't stop or swerve in time. She sliced the smaller ship in two, and tragically, over 300 sailors aboard the Curaçao lost their lives. Orders were strict. The Queen Mary was not to stop for any reason, not even to rescue survivors, for fear of U-boat attacks. It's said that to this day, the sounds of crashing metal and desperate cries for help can sometimes be heard from the bow of the ship, a chilling echo of that terrible night. But the bow isn't the only place with a story. Let's head down to the engine room, a place of intense heat, deafening noise, and one very persistent spirit. The most famous ghost here is a young crewman, often called John, though his real name might be John Petter. He was just 18 years old when he was tragically crushed to death by a watertight door number 13. To be exact, during a routine drill. Visitors and staff have reported seeing a young man in old-fashioned overalls walking through the engine room, sometimes whistling, before vanishing near the very door. Some have even felt unexplained cold spots or the sensation of being touched in this area, which is otherwise incredibly hot. Now, let's move from the industrial heart of the ship to its more leisurely areas, starting with the swimming pools. The Queen Mary has two, and the first-class swimming pool is a hotbed of paranormal activity. Though now drained, its beautiful Art Deco tiles still echo with stories. The most frequently seen spirits here are those of women in vintage bathing suits. But the most famous is a little girl named Jackie. She reportedly drowned in the second-class pool, but her spirit seems to prefer the first-class area. People have heard a little girl giggling, splashing, or calling for her mommy. Wet footprints have mysteriously appeared on the dry floor around the pool, only to disappear moments later. Jackie is a playful spirit, often interacting with guests, but her story is a sad reminder of the lives lost aboard this ship. Another well-known spectral resident is a woman often referred to as the Lady in White. She's said to be a beautiful, elegant spirit who gracefully dances alone in the Queen's salon, once the ship's grand ballroom. Who was she? No one knows for sure. Some believe she was a passenger from the ship's heyday, forever reliving a glamorous night out. She's been seen by countless people, a silent, beautiful apparition swaying to music only she can hear. Her presence is often described as peaceful, even a little sad, as if she's lost in a memory from a time long past. But not all the spirits on the Queen Mary are peaceful. Let's venture into some of the staterooms, where things get a bit more intense. Stateroom B340 is so notoriously active that the ship stopped renting it out for many years. Guests reported everything from the lights and water turning on and off by themselves, to sheets being ripped off the bed while they were sleeping. Some even claimed to have been woken up by a growling voice. The activity is often attributed to the spirit of a man who was murdered in that room, though historical records don't confirm such an event. Whatever the cause, the sheer volume of reports from this single cabin is staggering, making it a focal point for paranormal investigators from around the world. And the hauntings aren't limited to specific rooms. The entire ship seems to be a vessel for residual energy. In the ship's nursery, the disembodied cries of a baby are often heard. In the kitchens, the clanging of pots and pans and the smell of food cooking have been reported late at night. When the galleys are empty, people have seen shadowy figures walking the long, narrow corridors, heard phantom footsteps following them, and felt sudden, inexplicable drops in temperature. It is as if the ship itself has absorbed the emotions and events of its long and dramatic life. The joy of luxury travel, the fear of war, and the sorrow of tragedy. One particularly unsettling area is what's known as the shaft alley, a long corridor deep in the bowels of the ship. This area feels oppressive and heavy, and many visitors report feeling watched or even followed. A specific part of this alley is where a crew member was supposedly cut in half by the massive propeller shaft. Whether that story is true or just a legend, the feeling in that space is undeniably creepy. People have captured strange EVP's electronic voice phenomena here, recording voices that weren't heard at the time. Even the ship's theater has its own resident ghost. A projectionist who worked there for many years is said to still be on the job. Staff entering the empty projection booth have reported smelling phantom cigarette smoke. He was a heavy smoker and seeing a man in a white shirt and dark pants for just a fleeting moment. It seems some people just love the Queen Mary so much, they never wanted to leave, even after death. The sheer number and variety of paranormal claims make the Queen Mary a unique case. Is it the collective energy of the millions of people who sailed on her? Is it the specific tragedies that occurred within her steel hull? Or is there something about the ship itself, a giant metal object sitting in the water, that acts as a conductor for spiritual energy? Whatever the reason, the Queen Mary stands as more than just a museum or a hotel. It's a time capsule, and for many who have walked its decks, it's a very crowded one. The stories of Jackie, the lady in white, the crewman in the engine room, and countless others have cemented its legacy not just as the gray ghost of the war, but as one of the most haunted places on Earth. So, what do you think? Have you ever been on the Queen Mary and experienced something you couldn't explain? Let me know your stories in the comments below. I'd love to read them. It's fascinating how a place with so much history can hold onto it so tightly. Thanks for joining me on this spooky voyage. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next adventure into the unknown. Until next time, stay curious.